You know, every single website you visit, from your social media feed to the simplest blog, it all starts with one language. It's kind of like the invisible foundation of the entire web, the structure that holds absolutely everything together. So today, we're going to map out that foundation. HTML. Seriously, think about it for a sec. We see all these websites with slick designs, cool colors, and super smooth animations. And it's really easy to just assume, well, that's the website. But what's actually going on underneath all that polish? Well, if you could peel back that surface layer, strip away all the pretty paint and the interactive magic, what you'd be left with is the pure, raw structure. And that structure? That's HTML. It's basically the set of instructions that tells the browser, hey, this thing here is a heading, or this part is a paragraph.
Right, so this brings us to the main idea for today. Think of HTML as the skeleton of a web page. It gives it that fundamental framework that everything else is built on top of. Without it, you'd just have a chaotic mess of text and images with zero organization.
The name itself, HTML, actually tells you everything you need to know. The hypertext part? That just refers to the links that connect web pages. I mean, that's what makes the web a web, right? And markup language means we take plain text and we mark it up with special tags to give it meaning. It describes what something is, which is totally different from a programming language that tells the computer what to do.
I love this analogy. If a website is a house, then HTML is both the blueprint and the wooden frame. It's the absolute bare bones structure. All the other stuff, the paint, the furniture, the electricity, that all comes later. You've got to build that foundation first.
Okay, so what does that foundational blueprint actually look like in practice? Well, it turns out every single modern web page is built from just a few essential, totally non-negotiable pieces.
Yep, pretty much every HTML document has this exact same structure. First up, you've got the doc type declaration. All this does is tell the browser, hey, use the modern rules, which keeps things from looking all weird and broken. Then, the HTML element wraps the entire page, and inside that, you have two key sections. The head, which is like the brain holding all the behind-the-scenes info, and then the body, which holds every single thing you actually see on the screen. So, once we have that skeleton in place, we can start adding our content. But we don't just dump text in there. No, we use HTML to give that content actual meaning and a clear hierarchy.
And we build everything using these three simple components. We use tags. Those are the commands and angle brackets to define stuff, like a paragraph, an opening tag, some content, and a closing tag all together make a complete element. And if we need to add a bit more information, like say where a link should actually go, we use an attribute right inside that opening tag.
Now this leads to a really important idea called semantic HTML. Check this out. The B tag and the strong tag, they both make text look bold, but their meaning is totally different. The B tag is just for looks, but the strong tag tells screen readers and search engines that this text is genuinely important. See the difference? It's about describing the content's purpose, not just how it looks.
So, we've organized our text, we've given it meaning, but let's be real, the modern web is so much more than that. It's a visual, interactive experience. So now, it's time to bring our pages to life.
This is the fun stuff. You can use the image tag for images. There are audio and video elements for sound and video, and to make the web a two-way street, we use the form element. That's how we create fields so users can actually send information back to us.
And I want to pause right here because this is so important. The alt attribute on an image gives a text description for screen readers, which helps visually impaired users understand your content. It's also what shows up if an image breaks. This is absolutely non-negotiable if you want to build professional, accessible websites, period.
Okay, so we've built our structure with HTML, but where does it fit in the grand scheme of things? Well, HTML doesn't work alone. It's actually the first member of a team we call the Frontend trio.
These three technologies work together to create basically every website you've ever used. HTML is the structure, the raw content. Then you have CSS, which handles all the presentation. The colors, the fonts, the layout. And finally, you have JavaScript, which adds all the interactivity and behavior. Each one has a very specific job.
And this brings our whole analogy full circle. HTML is the skeleton. It gives the page its shape. CSS is the skin. It's all the paint and clothes that make it look good. And JavaScript, that's the muscles. It's what makes things actually happen when you click a button. Skeleton, skin, and muscles. You need all three.
All right, let's zoom back out for a second. Getting a solid handle on HTML's role isn't just some small step. This right here, this is your first major checkpoint on your entire developer journey.
I mean, think about what that means. You now have the knowledge to look at any website and see past the surface, to actually see the blueprint underneath. Everything else you learn from here on out is going to be built right on top of this foundation.
So the main takeaway here is this. Starting with clean, meaningful, semantic HTML isn't just a best practice. It is the absolute key to building websites that are accessible, easy to maintain, and that work well for every single person who visits them.
So you've seen the blueprint. You understand the fundamental anatomy of the web. As you keep going, the question really isn't just what you'll build, but how you'll build it, with a strong, accessible foundation right from that very first line of code.
This is the ground floor. It's the starting line for everything that comes next. Now that you have the blueprint, it's time to start building. This is Developer Roadmaps. Map your path, build your career.